You're paying Tyreek Hill now $25 million a year. You're going to start seeing these deals more and more and more now where you're paying these guys. They're going to be the second highest paid players on your football team are going to be your wideouts next to your quarterback. You have to have that. Time to shake it up. Big Sills, National Football Show. Good afternoon. Hit the like button because you need to. Thank you, and I appreciate it, by the way. Oh, my God. The content today. You see, the reason why we're having Merrill Reese on today, you see, Merrill is going to bring some positivity to all of you Eagle fans that have been laboring throughout the offseason here. I know you need it. And that's why our dear friend will join us at 5:30. We have to bring an uplifting voice because the voice of reason is not working here. You see, like when I was on the middle today with Barrett was under the assumption that the Philadelphia Eagles had like 5 or 6 guys that had 100-catch seasons. There's not one wide receiver in the history of the franchise that's ever had a 100-catch season. And he was floored by that. He's like, damn. He's like, I can't believe that. Joe, Perry Simon from All Access, one of my dearest friends and one of my longest supporters, Joe. All Access loves Big Sills. They have been a favorite of mine, them, Radio Wink. Perry Simon has been a dear friend, and I love him so much. And, Joe, you make sure you tell him I said hello. He has followed my career. Like I said, Radio Wink, Talkers Magazine, all those guys, man. But you know what happened? Something happened in the evolution of Big Sills. You know what's happened, Joe? You know what's happened? Corey, Zach Ertz is a tight end. He is not a wide receiver. Wide receiver. Wide receiver. I know I'm speaking English. Wide receiver. Okay? What's happened is I've kind of almost outgrown radio because now I get an opportunity to be Big Sills. Something I coveted forever. Not having to sit in the principal's office talking shit to my PD who doesn't know anything. And I've been in the business 30 years doing sports talk. And some 14-year-old kid's going to tell me, well, maybe if you tease this and maybe if we went down this. Shut up, guy. I am the king of content. King of content. Paul, he's a tight end like Harold Carmichael. On to me. Anyway. So we're able to do this. Like I was pointing out today that Kobe only won one NBA most valuable player. And Barrett was like, come on, man. And I'm like, well, you're talking about the 5 greatest players of all time. Guy that's got one MVP. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I would say this to you, though. Watch this. The 2 greatest Lakers of all time, in my opinion, are Kobe and Magic Johnson. Okay? And Kareem, he's in there, but Kobe, okay? Kobe's right there, baby. Kobe's right there. Top button Sills. Yeah, it's because I'm a gangster, brother. 5 rings. Hey, Chris, wait a second here. Chris brings up one point about Kobe. Watch this. So would you rather have Jordan's 6 NBA titles or would you rather have Kobe Bryant's 5 NBA titles and his Oscar? Hey, whoa. Hip-hop hooray. Oh, where am I going here? What would you rather have? Would you rather have Kobe's 5 titles and his Oscar? Or would you rather have the 6 championships in Chicago with Jordan? I don't know, man. Keep the Oscar? Okay. So as I tweeted out at Dan Sileo Show, and I hope you guys will go ahead and follow me over at Dan Sileo Show on my Twitter page. Sydney, good morning to you in Australia, down under. Matt Corral will be visiting the Philadelphia Eagles this week. How you doing? The Eagles are bringing in Ole Miss's Matt Corral. Here, I'll do a 97.5 reaction. Philly reaction. Matt Corral. Chris goes short visit. Thank you, Anthony. Sills is the most real person covering the Eagles that we've had in a long time. Hey, by the way, man, I'll tell you one more time. I'd be a phony if I told you that I covered the Eagles my whole life. I'll tell you what I've fallen in love with is their fan base. Can I say that with being okay? Can I? Okay, can I say that? I've fallen in love with you guys. I love you guys. I cover the Eagles. Okay? Xander's favorite sports team is the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay? It's the Philadelphia Eagles. Said it to me. He goes, man, he goes, Sills, but let me tell you, man, when the Phillies are good, that's a pretty rowdy crowd. Man, I love that. You guys are so, even the dudes that don't agree with me, Sileo, you're full of shit. I know this already, though. Oh, Joe, you guys are great. It's a great fan base. You know what, too? And you guys probably won't like this. I did sports in Boston at WEEI. You guys are a lot like that. They have like fences around Boston and they don't let anybody in. You start shitting on their teams and you're an outsider, you better come with some receipts. When you start barking at the Eagles or you start barking in Boston at the Red Sox, the Celtics, the Patriots, you start barking like that, you better have receipts, dude, because they're going to hold you accountable. It's one thing to sit there and watch, people at the Communist Sports Network sit there and throw shade at Philly or throw shade at Boston. I got to say, those are my two favorite places that I've talked. Oh, I got to throw Tampa in there because Tampa's filled with Boston, New York. Isn't it funny? Tampa's filled with Boston, New York, and Philadelphia people. You'd be shocked how many people from South Philly live in Tampa. You guys would be stunned. Hey, Easy Money said, hey, Easy Money, I'm going to tell you, man, I told you this before. My wife goes like this, Sileo, you found your place. You're an asshole and you're talking to assholes. And I was like this, what's that supposed to mean? And she's like, perfect. It works. And I was like, okay. Chris, Boston's got some great fans, man. They got some great fans. I can't do that. So what do you guys make, man? Matt Corral coming in for a visit. Xander's like, oh, this guy, I saw him throw 3 touchdowns versus Bama. He's the guy. Let's go get it. Hey, oh. You think this guy's going to be good? Sills, you're going to shit on this guy? He's going to be a good player. He may be. Who am I to say here on April 6th whether or not that guy's going to be a good NFL player? I'd be an idiot to go like this. He's going to suck. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not these draft gurus who pretend every single, couple months prior to the draft and do this. The famous like radio guy that goes on the radio and starts talking World Cup. Dude, shut up. You don't cover it. You cover it every 4 years. You don't cover the World Cup. I couldn't name you one guy on the team, nor do I care to name you one guy on the team. I don't like European sports. I cover American sports. I cover Philly sports. I cover football. I cover that kind of stuff. You bring in Matt Corral in, good or bad thing? Hugh says, what do you think the chances of drafting him? Can you imagine if they took a quarterback and a wide receiver? What would that tell you about Jalen? Jalen's going to have the 2022 season, and that's it, and he's out. Jalen Hurts' career will be over before September of this year if they draft a quarterback. It'll be over. Why would the Eagles bring a quarterback in? Smokescreen. Showtime. Huh? What's up, Alexander? Matt, they do need defense. I'm going to get to that here in a minute. Smokescreen? What do you think, guys? Is that a smokescreen? Would Howie throw a smokescreen out there by bringing a quarterback in? Huh? Would he? I could see it. Or how about this? Maybe he just wants it. He wouldn't be doing his job if he didn't bring in a quarterback. I think but I'll tell you this. You think they're bringing in a quarterback in Buffalo? You think they're bringing in a quarterback in Los Angeles? You think they're bringing in a quarterback in Cleveland? Bringing in quarterbacks. They got their guy. Why would you bring in a quarterback? Due diligence, smoke screen. I think it all fits. Oh, man. What, Ole Miss, a quarterback factory? Archie Manning, Eli Manning, and now Matt Corral. Not too bad, right? You know who's got one of the best? Guess who's a better quarterback factory in the Big Ten than Ohio State? Purdue. Len Dawson, Bob Greasy, Jeff George, Drew Brees. Actually, Purdue has produced more NFL star quarterbacks than Ohio State ever has. That's because they've never. How about that for you? Purdue has more Purdue's going to have 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks out of their program. Ohio State can't even get a Pro Bowler out of theirs. And you want me to take C.J. Stroud or listen to that thing up in Chicago with Justin can't see the fields. Was that a Chris Berman? I'm sorry. Back. I actually miss Berman. All right. May I throw this out at you? And you tell me when we're evaluating the Philadelphia Eagles, if the Eagles, and tell me if you agree first with what I'm going to say. Josh said this yesterday. If he was the quarterback of an NFL football team, he would never run the ball. We got to look more like the Arena League. Running the football in volume is not what the league is today. You're not taking advantage of the rules, and you're not taking advantage of what offenses are given. Think about that. The Eagles are hurting themselves offensively by how limited they are. Hence, that's why they want a more open-up offense, especially through the air and not on the ground. Running the football, the Philadelphia Eagles are 20 years behind the game. You've never had a 100-yard or a 100-catch receiver. You've had one 4,000 passing yardage quarterback for a particular season in Carson Wentz. I'm not ripping you. I'm showing you that what the Eagles want to do, and they're right philosophy-wise, what they want to do. They want to get into a modern-day offense. They have to. They want to get into a modern-day offense. Okay? Big picking. Eagles need balance on offense unless you have an elite passer. Amen. All right. Would you agree with me that there's 3 positions that you have to pay big money to if you're going to win in today's NFL? Quarterback, edge rusher, and a big-time wide receiver. Let's take a look where Philadelphia is right now. Do you agree with that? Edge rusher, pass rusher, big-time big-time quarterback and a big-time wide receiver. I said this the last couple days to you. I used to think wide receivers were the frosting on cakes. They're part of the cake now. The evolution of that position has become so vital to today's NFL, you have to have a big-time wideout. That's why you're seeing deals like today. We saw the Stephon Diggs deal, 4 years, $104 million, $26 million a year. You're paying Tyreek Hill now $25 million a year. You're going to start seeing these deals more and more and more now where you're paying these guys. They're going to be the second highest paid players on your football team are going to be your wideouts next to your quarterback. You have to have that. Basically, what Green Bay has done by letting Devonta Adams go, you limit now your approach and how you're going to attack teams this coming season because you took Devonta Adams off the team. So, do you agree? Shut down safety, bro. So you think that Jamal Adams, Alexander, was a good deal for Seattle? Giving up all those first-rounders to get Jamal Adams? Jamal Adams has been a reason why Russell Wilson is no longer in Seattle. They lost all those draft picks to the Jets for that dude. He's made zero impact on that team. Zero impact. Zero. Let's take a look at where the Eagles are financially in those positions. Jalen Hurts, $1.5 million. Devonta Smith on a rookie deal. Both of these guys on rookie deals. $850,000. Your edge rusher. Should we put Hassan Reddick in there? Should we put Reddick in there? Besides a brand new deal. I'm not sure what he's making annually now. I'm going to look at what an edge rusher is, and I'm just going to say, knowing Howie, probably paying him $8 million. Unless somebody knows. Quarterback, wide receiver, pass rusher, edge rusher. Why are you paying Fletcher Cox $14 million? Why are you paying that? Why are you paying that to him? You really think he's going to have a comeback year? No way. That guy's not a $14 million a year player any longer. See, here's the difference between what you get with me and others. That guy's not a $14 million a year guy. I could take that money and spend it wisely other places. Go get another wideout. Go get a veteran guy. Spend the money in the draft. Spend the money in player development. Fletcher Cox, $14 million? Sure, okay. I guess it's a retirement fund. Okay? Kelsey's different, though, Pickin. Kelsey had an all-pro year. I don't mind paying Kelsey $14 million. Okay? $14 million for, Jason Kelsey versus $14 million for Fletcher Cox. There's a difference there. That guy was first-team all-pro. I'm good with that. As a matter of fact, I wish he'd play a couple more years. Okay? I'm good with that. So let's take a look at where the Eagles are financially and paying for these three positions that you have to have in today's NFL to win. Look at the Rams. Aaron Donald, over $20 million. Look at what you got with Cooper Kupp. $18 million, $17 million. And they just gave Matthew Stafford a brand new deal where he's making $40+ million. Brady, $35 million. Mike Evans. Just saying, the big programs, unless you have rookie contracts. So you're basically spending less than $10 million on your premium positions to be a team that if you're going to have the three things and components you need to win, you're paying less than $10 million for three positions. You're paying basically $3 million per position in positions that you have to contend. Not just compete. See, the Eagles are going to compete. Okay? The Eagles are going to compete. They are. Okay? They're going to compete. They're going to compete. Smile. Big Sills is against DT. Cox and Donald. Fletcher Cox is not playing near the level of Aaron Donald right now. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not even in the same conversation. Michael says, where would you rank the Eagles O-line? Either one or two. Either one or two. Maniac says, I wonder why every wide receiver we draft that is good turns to shit. I'm hoping it doesn't happen with Smitty. Maniac, it's not that he's shit. He's underdeveloped because you guys don't develop wideouts. You never have. Okay? They never have. And when you had a big-time wideout, you had to import them. I'm talking wide receivers. You had to import them. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Irvin Fryer was drafted by the Patriots, #1 overall. Then he came to Philly, right? Fryer was a Patriot first, and I think he was the #1 overall selection out of Nebraska. Hey, he's probably the only #1 wide receiver in the history of Nebraska ever taken in the first round. I mean, he's like the only guy I could think of that's been taken out of Nebraska. Okay, and 1 overall, too, to boot. Right? Chris Long was an import. Seals Cox's job this year is to mold Milton Williams. He knows his time is up, but $14 million? $14 million. Man, that's a lot of dough for a guy. That's a lot of dough. Man. So the 3 premium positions, okay? The 3 premium positions, the Eagles aren't spending money. Why is that? Why would that be? They haven't done anything in the wide receiving core. And get this, they're going to mask it in the draft. And they're going to get younger in the draft by doing that. You could guarantee it's either going to be a first or second round where they're going to grab a receiver. They're grabbing a guy there, one of these dudes that are probably going to fall to him. Because you know what happens as we get closer to the draft? They're going to elevate these quarterbacks more. And by the way, don't think of Malik Willis at all, please. Okay, he's an RPO guy. I said that to you yesterday. He's an RPO guy. He's been an RPO guy since he was at Auburn. Then he got to Liberty. They did the same thing. That is not what the Philadelphia Eagles want to do. They want to get into a modern passing game. And I've been saying this now for a day and a half, and I'll continue to say this. I've realized what they're doing here. They're not building that football team at all around Jalen Hurts. They're building that football team around the fact that he's on a rookie contract. You got all the receivers basically on rookie contracts. Quez Watkins, Devonta Smith. You had to go out. Do you know that Zach Pascal makes more than Jalen Hurts? Your #3 wide receiver makes more than your starting quarterback. How are you telling me they're helping him again? You're not. So what's the fundamental thing they're doing? They're loading this team up and they're building this team. But you see what they're doing here? Howie is building this team without the franchise quarterback. That's what he's trying to accomplish here. So the more picks he gets, that's why I was thinking about it today. That's why I was thinking, why not wait until you get closer to the draft where you could have maybe fleeced the Saints even more and maybe got Michael Thomas? Or I'm sure some other teams that had more draft assets would have loved to have made this move. Maybe Howie could have got – why now? Why not wait until like the week of the draft to make a deal like this where you could have squeezed another team? Because he's setting his position up. He's setting his team up. Howie is going to go about building his football team without the franchise quarterback. You see, it's easy to build a team when you have the franchise guy. Protect Brady, right? Have a stout defense. Have a balanced salary cap throughout your 53-man roster. That was the secret sauce in New England. I told you this before. New England, with all their skill set guys, not including Sony Michel, they never had a first-round draft choice the entire time Brady was in New England. Think about that for a minute. There was not one first-round draft choice in that New England Patriots huddle when they were winning Super Bowls. Gronk was a second-rounder. Edelman and Amendola and Welker. These guys weren't high picks. Aaron Hernandez was a fifth-rounder. They weren't using high picks. Look at what Howie does. Howie misses on high picks. You know what New England was doing? They were taking low picks and turning them into first picks because they had the franchise quarterback. Harder to build this way when you don't have the dude. Okay? Right? You're hoping, and this is why Howie's missing. I'm going to tell you something, guys. Derek Barnett would look like a 10-time better player. And so would Jalen Reagor if Tom Brady was your quarterback. He hides all that. You know that N'Keal Harry guy that got out of Arizona State? He sucks. But Mac Jones and Brady made him look better than what he is. Guy's slow off the ball, struggles with separation. He's awful on yards after the catch. He's just a dude, man. But the Patriots, that's the first time they went in the Belichick era where they drafted a wideout in the first round. Hard to build. That's why Howie's missing more, because he doesn't have a franchise guy. You know, what is being clouded here is that Howie missed on a franchise quarterback. You know, everyone's giving him credit. Get this. Shoot, here, let me ask you guys this. Do you give Howie credit for getting a first rounder for Wentz? Do you give him credit for getting a first rounder for Carson Wentz? Do you guys give him credit for that? Just curious on how you look at that. You guys give him credit? Do you give Howie Roseman credit for getting out from that contract, okay, and getting a 1? Travis says yes. Tony says no because he was just digging out of his own hole. Rico, I'm going to show you something on what Tony just said here. T. Lewis says yes because Wentz was broken. Here. So Howie would rather have the pick than be right on the franchise quarterback? The first pick is fool's gold. You need a franchise quarterback more than you need another first rounder. Anybody worth their weight in gold will tell you, you can have all the first rounders you want, but if I've got Justin Herbert or I've got Joe Burrow, I don't need first rounders. Ask the Rams. If I've got a franchise guy, I don't need draft picks. I don't need them. The franchise quarterback is the biggest mistake that the franchise has made, and they're going to continue to pay for it until they rectify the position. And their actions are this. They're not rectifying that position. They haven't done anything for Hurts. Except You know, the only thing that they have done for Hurts is tell him that it's his job in 2022. Kind of. Midwest Eagle fan says, thing is, Wentz wasn't a franchise quarterback. We got a third too. Okay? So Howie missed on a franchise quarterback. Getting a 1 and a 3 is great. If you utilize it. I'd rather have the franchise quarterback than the 1 and the 3. The 1 and the 3? I got to take a timeout. Okay? Is the problem with the Eagles the quarterback or the receivers? Okay? I want you to think about that. Don't forget Merrill Reese in hour number 2 at 5:30. Hit the like button. Keep it right here on the National.